Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video we're going to take a look at one of the fights in Epic of Pain. I am currently 2 paths down and I'm on pace to get this done in the next week and a half, 2 weeks or so, depending on how much time I have. It's been great. I will probably make more content on this as time goes by, but for now I did want to showcase this one fight. A lot of people against this Adam Warlock have been using Sentry, and I'll get into why right now. Now, first of all, this is the Tech and Science path, and it is the one that starts with Nebula. And the global node on this path is quite interesting. It's basically the only way that you can apply any damage to the opponents is by applying non-stun debuffs, and each time you do so with a 1-second cooldown, it will take away 2% health. So essentially you need to apply 50 debuffs over the course of the fight, and then they will go down to 0% health. Now this of course limits it, and it's kind of interesting because these fights themselves have all these interesting RPG elements, and a lot of them don't matter because at the end of the day you can use champions like Quicksilver or Photon that have tons of debuffs and you're good to go. But midway through this path, you have this Adam Warlock who does have one RPG node that really matters, and it's buffed up, which means you personally need 3 buffs on yourself in order to do any damage. Now, Sentry is a science champion that can easily get over 3 buffs, but if you're not going to use him, there really aren't that many other science options. Maybe Overseer if things go well. But overall, I decided to use a tech champion, and this was the 1 6-star that I was able to use between all my tech and science classes because I unfortunately don't have Omega Sentinel as a 7-star. And as you know, she easily can get all those armor ups, and that will count for buffed up. And she is able to apply debuffs by just doing things like medium or the special 2 sometimes. And I was just really happy with how the fight went. So I am showing this for all of you out there that don't have 7-star Sentry or didn't want to rank up your 6-star. And with that, let's roll the clip to take a look at this fight. Now, as this clip starts rolling, there is one other node here that we do really need to mind, and I believe it's called Golden Barbed Opportunity, which essentially what happens is when Adam Warlock throws a special, which he will quite often because he also has power alternator, so he can steal your power and he just gains a lot of power in general. You have 4 seconds in which to land a heavy attack or a special attack hit against him in order to give him a soul barb. Otherwise, the soul barb will end up on you, and because you are going to have all these armor ups on you, that is a very bad time. So you can see here, we bait the special 1, and then we immediately parry heavy, and we give him the soul barb. Now, if he has the soul barb, then you don't have to worry about this. This ability is on cooldown, but as you can see, when it is ticking away, it will come again. So another thing you can do is you can heavy counter the special 2, and you can heavy into his pod, and since this isn't a PvP mode, he won't stun you on that. As far as I understand, that's why that works, but you can get pretty good at this timing. I was kind of learning on the fly. Eventually what I was doing was kind of dashing out of the way at the very end when he does the pod toward you. So right there, as long as he has the soul barb, then you don't need to worry about landing a heavy, but every time he doesn't have a soul barb, you need to make sure to do that, otherwise you're going to get wrecked. Now, it took me a while to get my rhythm of this fight, right? Because we very easily got to our 10 buffs. That just happens pretty naturally with Omega Sentinel, and that would also count for a auto block chance for us, so we do have like 1 safety net. But the other thing is, you know, the only way to apply the debuffs right now is to do like medium or other types of medium ending combos. And also if we throw special 2s, if we ever manage to get that far. So it's just going to be kind of a slow slog, but even though she's a 6-star, she has lots of armor. If we happen to get lucky and have a cowardice, it means when we block the specials, it doesn't do that much damage. And it just sort of becomes this battle of survival. So if you're going to take this fight with Omega Sentinel, I would recommend just duel this Adam Warlock. Make sure that you can dex the special 1. And the last thing that I will say is that if he has his golden buff, and man, I'm not remembering the name of it right now, but if he has the little gold buff on himself, it means that you cannot stun him. So you do need to be careful if you're baiting a special 1 and sovereignty, that's what it's called. If he has sovereignty, you cannot parry him. So if you're going to bait the special 1, just make sure that he already has the soul barb on him, because it's difficult to heavy counter the special 1. However, heavy countering the special 2, very easy. You should be able to do that all the time. So anyway, the last thing I'll say is that because you're heavy attacking, you're going to be switching your debuffs, but if you do get lucky enough to be in the heal block phase, that will actually help, because he does regenerate a little bit every time he gets into the pod. So these debuffs with Despair will be helping ever so slightly, but overall, if you have the heal block, it'll completely block the healing. And as we get more into the fight, I was figuring things out. I was getting my spacing a little bit better and better each time. And additionally, I was finding that I was being a little bit more brave to just like push him a little bit higher with the power. I was also remembering that if I had 2 bars of power, it was really important to dump my power so that he didn't steal it with the power alternator node. And then finally, I think I started shortening my combos a little bit toward the end, because you really only need to do medium in order for it to work. But overall, my take on this is that this is a very, very safe option. If you don't have the 7-star, it's not a big deal, because damage and attack rating has nothing to do with how much damage you do in this fight. It's all about just survival, and an ascended Omega Sentinel with all of her armors is actually pretty survivable, and Adam's not really doing anything dangerous to us here. So anyway, I'm gonna just let this clip play out the rest of the way. Hopefully this was helpful for you, and enjoy the rest of your exploration. I may have a video about Ares a little bit later. And additionally, I could do a few things. I could talk about like path by path or class by class. I could additionally just do like maybe a 18-minute video kind of going over every team that I used. So in the comments, if you could please leave me something that you want to see. What do you want to see from me? Do you want to see like a full guide? Do you want me to just kind of talk about Ares and a couple other things? I can get some more content out in the next couple of weeks, and we can have a little bit of a good time with that. So enjoy exploring the Epic of Pain. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Catch you in the next one.